and welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another day, another edition of the OSC Season 12 Championship, lower bracket round number 6 and upper bracket round 5 as well. We are progressing, we are advancing through the bracket. It's been massive, it's been large, it's been a long month of StarCraft, a long month of OSC, but now we are here to conclude it this week. We're here to conclude it. I'm of course OSI VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in the chat, by my plushies as well. Welcome one and all. As the bracket has been progressing over time, actually let's catch up on the bracket itself here and catch up on the matches that are coming up ahead of us. For those that are curious, OSC Season 12 Championship has been an event that's been going on for the entire month. Is a massive bracket, and it's basically the I Am Katowice of the online tournament circuits, where for the entirety of the year of 2024, players have been accumulating points in online events, and they've since been invited into this annual end of year championship to determine the best in online tournaments. Here we go. As we switch our teams over and catch up on the bracket itself, we have our lower bracket round 6 matches ahead of us here. We have a PvP and a PvZ between SKillous, Gerald, Hero, and Solar. But for some greater context, let's catch up on the bracket, as again, it's quite daunting. It's quite a lot to get into. Let's jump in from the top, I would say. Let's jump in from... Let's try to jump in. There we go. Beautiful. So we were covering the previous rounds earlier this week. We finished up our bracket round 4. We're now getting into the upper bracket semi-finals here. We had Max Pax taking down Hero barely 3-2. Likewise, we had Clem taking down Gerald, and now up later on tonight, we do have Beyond versus Max Pax, Dark versus Clem. They're going to be facing off in the upper bracket semi-finals. That leads into the upper bracket finals. That leads into the grand finals, which we're going to be wrapping up on Friday, by the way, as there's still a lot of matches to go over, a lot of matches to uncover. For the time being, going to be focusing though on the matches we have available to us here, again the upper bracket semi-finals and the lower bracket as well. That's what makes this bracket so huge and so big, and why it takes so long to get through, is because there's also a lower bracket, and every series is a best of 5. If you didn't notice, 0 best of 3s up here. It's all been best of 5s back to back to back to back, insanely long matches, and again, just to determine the best players to make it through, of course. That leads us here towards that lower bracket, where we had SKillous taking down Cura, we had Solar taking down Cristiano. That means we have Hero versus Solar and Gerald versus SKillous. We have our top 8 players of the tournament, and we are about to cut that down and start eliminating players from the event. Here we go. So these are our matches coming up ahead of us here. We're going to be going over these lower bracket matches. Then we'll be having a break, and then we'll be having the upper bracket matches thereafter. That is the plan here for today's broadcast. A lot to get into, a lot to go over. Again, purely best of 5s. And up first, we have our PvP. Up first, we do have SKillous versus Gerald. Is going to be coming in next year on the channel. Is the plan, is the go-to. As I quickly bring us back. Beautiful. We have our lower bracket matches here, and again, SKillous, he has been improving so much here, and it's been impressive to see his growth over the past couple of months. Likewise, Geralt as well. It's gonna be a hard one to call, I'll be honest. As a reminder, it was last week where we had Geralt taking down Showtime in the Pigsty Festival qualifiers, but we'll see how he compares to SKillous. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Gresvan, we have our Polish Protoss player, our blue Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Gerald. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the red Protoss player representing Team Liquid. It is SKillous. Again, so far we have casted every single match in this tournament. It's going through from upper bracket round 1 all the way to today. Again, it's been over a month actually of content of StarCraft, but we are here to wrap it up this week. It's going to be today and Friday, our 2 days here of the week of broadcasts of OSC, to finally crown our champion. We're almost there. We are almost there. For the time being though, welcome one and all to Gressfan. For those that are curious, for those who maybe haven't tuned into a previous OSC broadcast, OSC, they do feature an extended map pool. They actually provide voting for the players, and players, they do decide which maps they want to play on, which older maps they add to the map pool. The 3 maps that were added were Gressfan, the map here, alongside Romanticide and Erahome as well. Gressfan, of course, was in the map pool a couple of years ago. I want to say like 2023, like end 2022, maybe beginning of 2023, era of StarCraft, so not too long ago, but it's been a couple of years, and now we're here, now we are back. This is one of the larger maps in the map pool. Very large map, long rush distance by ground, and as a result, we are able to indulge and embrace a longer series, at least a longer game. That's what we're hoping for, that's what we're looking for. We'll see. So far, 2-gate opener out of Gerald, likewise 2-gate opener out of SKillous as well. So far, so good. Catching up as we do dip in across the map, getting a full scout out. We're counting for pylons. So far, second pylon has been found for the side of Gerald, likewise from SKillous as well. So both players are fully aware there's no proxy, at least not yet in game 1. That's something that I'm a little bit concerned by, just because of what I enjoy out of PvPs is players like SKillous, players like Gerald, they're not really one to cheese or proxy too often. So because of that, this might be a much more standard back and forth macro PvP, which I want to say favors Gerald. Gerald, he has some crazy late game PvP. He is always one stylistically to skip and delay Archons, to rush into Disruptors, and then head towards Skytos from there. Gerald, he has some of the best late game PvZ out there. Like, it's so impressive how he can look with that kind of army, and how he can get there, more importantly. So give Gerald a longer game state, and that's where he can thrive. We'll see if he can get there. We'll see if SKillous still give it to it. But now, Hallucination Scout, once again, just confirming there's an expansion. Confirming the placement of the 3rd pylon. Speaking of pylons, SKillous does throw his down towards the south side. He's going to be able to use it to reinforce as he does move out across the map. Okay, a more aggressive start here from SKillous. Does move out, double Stalker into double Sentry, or double Sentry into double Stalker. Is moving out. We have Sentry follow-up here from Gerald. So SKillous, he's going to have more DPS, he's going to have more firepower here, and he can also reinforce with that pylon. And last shield battery's not ready. Force fields are. Oh, speaking of, nicely done trying to lock down SKillous. Despite that, SKillous, he does force field the ramp. Yeah, the ramp is force field. The Stalker is going to go down. Shield battery's not done in time. Oh, and with that, we trade the Stalker for a Sentry. But alas, Gerald going to be losing another Sentry. Yeah, Sentries are falling. Shield battery is done. Oh my god. SKillous barely escapes. And so far, a better trade for SKillous. Was a slightly better trade. Likewise, reinforcements are on the way. It's going to be 2 Adepts. 2 Adepts taking 1-shot probes. Their goal here is to bust into a mineral line. To get past the army to get into a mineral line. We'll see if SKillous can get there. Likewise, Gerald does find the Adepts ahead of time. Not bad. Sub steps forward, does turn them back. Should kill 1, just barely. And 1 Adept does go down. Likewise, both players taking up into Blink. So we have the same tech. Twilight Council into Blink. Adept does shade in. But it's only 1, so it shouldn't get much damage. Can maybe get 1 probe. Oh! Ooh, gets 1. Gets 1 worker. Pylon is found, is going to be shut down as well. Gerald looking quite secure. SKillous has been quite aggressive, but for the most part, Gerald, he has been able to keep up. For the most part. And with that, takes a 3rd. So fast a 3rd base for Gerald. SKillous not too far behind. Gerald has the high ground. Oh! Does force field. Likewise, Gerald also getting caught out. Does pull away. Whew, just in time. Once again, Gerald, he's holding on. SKillous has to pull back. Does pull back, does retreat. Both players taking out. We have Forges on the way, Robos on the way. And we mentioned, especially on a larger map like Gressfan, especially on how our players are, how they play out PvP stylistically, we're going to settle it. We're going to settle into the mid-game. No hyper-aggression, third base is into a fourth base into maxed out armies. Now, I stand by what I mentioned before, that Gerald, he should be working towards charge, but he does often enjoy skipping Archons, skipping Temple Archives and going into Disruptors. To be fair, it's been, I want to say that I haven't seen that from Gerald since maybe early January, so it's been a month, or even just over a month since that, so we'll see if that continues to be the case. Or if Gerald has since kind of adjusted and adapted his style. So we are building up. Upgrades still on the way. And both players are just, we do have a lull here as both players are just establishing their own third bases. Mortal production for Gerald. There's that charge. And we're waiting for further tech. Outside of that, Gerald is now suddenly being active. Looking for any stray spotted pylons. Sneaking out with those adepts. Likewise, SKillous also getting position as scouts. Oh, does spot this. SKillous is aware. At the same time, Stalkers are poking in towards that third base. Probes are going down. Adepts are shade in. And more workers are falling. Getting what, 3, 4, 5 probe kills. Not bad. Yeah, 5, 6, and we get 7. Up. Oh, we barely can. Whew. 7 probes. Good start here for Gerald. Goes away to Adepts. Likewise, both players taking the same direction. We have the Prism on the way. This is the first sign of aggression here from SKillous. So he can reinforce across the map. He can push. So far, neither player taking their gases at the third. SKillous staying on 3 gases. Likewise, so is Gerald. Relying on mainly Zealot reinforcements for now. But both players expand. Never mind. Prism is moving out to harass, but looks like only to harass. Not to reinforce. Zealots are warping in. Throwing down spotted pylons. Oh, we've seen many a late game on Gressfan. We're back, Pappy. We're back. Let's go. SKillous is being active. Zealot does hit the mineral line. Getting a probe kill. Main army does push in. So far, Gerald keeping up. It's keeping up with the main army. SKillous rotating into the main. Trying to pull Gerald apart. We have a tri-pronged attack. We have Zealots towards the fourth base. We have Prism into the main. We have the main army towards that natural. And SKillous, he will actually reinforce, going for the mineral line. Probes are going down. Gerald's getting pulled apart. Oh, he's out of position. Yeah, strong response there from Gerald. Prism goes down. Nice force fields. Doesn't quite get the pylon. SKillous is pulling Gerald apart. And we just keep going for more warp-ins. Barely in time. Gerald, he should be able to hold on. Catching out a couple of Stalkers. Not bad. It does punish, does blink. Prism into the main base. Stalkers are in position. Prism is going to go down. And Gerald holds. Gerald, he holds on. He cleans up all those Zealots. He lost 4 probes. He lost a War Prism. But outside of that, he holds. And that's what's important here. Gerald, he still holds on. SKillous force back. I did mention that Gerald, he's quite fond of skipping Archons. But never mind. Archons are going to be on the way. As here comes that Temple Archives. We should soon be seeing one from the side of SKillous as well. But the time being does not go for it. SKillous rebuilding his War Prism. Still being active. Does rotate around. So far runs into those Zealots. Trades well. Does trade well for himself, but Gerald comes in for a flank. Does dive in, catches a couple of Stalkers. Not a bad trade. Zealots trade well as well. Trading minerals for gas. Force SKillous away. At the same time, Zealots do peel off. They head towards the mineral line. There is a shield battery in position. Gerald has time to respond. Does have time. So far, Gerald, he's keeping up. Keeping up with the harass. Prism moves out once again, this time towards that natural. Now, in a head-on fight, Gerald, he can still take this fight just because of the immortals. He does have that immortal advantage. That's kind of the one big thing that Gerald has compared to Skillous' army. Skillous is very stalker heavy. Very stalker heavy. So the Archons, they can come... Sorry, the immortals can come in clutch. Likewise, Dark Shrine from Gerald, so he's going to attempt to harass across the map. There should be, at this stage, cannons in the mineral lines. There's cannons here towards the top side and a cannon all the way towards the south, but yeah, there are openings. So definitely opportunities here for Dark Templar. 100%. Meanwhile, Gerald, he has to preserve those immortals. And again, we have even more immortals on the way. So Gerald, he recognized the kind of army that Skillous has. There are a lot of Zealots, that is true. But they're not with the main force, they're mainly harassing. As the armies are joining. Oh, never mind, they're passing by each other. They do rotate. Gerald moving in. Both armies about to max. To max out, Zealots, they do hit that southern base. Gerald, he wants to commit. He wants to fight. Again, he's got 5 immortals. Jesus. 5 immortals, chasing Skills down. Zealots, they're getting a bit out of hand. Breaking through that defensive line. Likewise, Gerald pushing forward. Depowers the shield battery. Depowers the cannons as well. Yeah, boys being pulled away. Nice force field. Very nice force fields. Yeah, the probes, they're locked down. 14 workers full. The expansion as well. At the same time, Zealots, they're breaking into the mineral line. Gerald, he does reinforce in time. He's down in upgrades. He's going to be forced to recall. Oh, that's a rough recall. Does recall though. At the same time, Zealots, they force the cancellation of a base. Gerald, he will defend. But now recalls on cooldown. Likewise, his army is split. Zealots is still active. And Skillous did lose the mineral line, but he still has bases. Still has plenty of economy. He still has an economy, he can still maintain himself. And he does rotate once again. This time, Gerald is ready. He's here. Oh my god. We'll shut down those stalkers. We'll force Skillous back. And once again, just collapsing the army, catching out all the sentries. As Gerald moves out, Zealots, they move in once again, but there are DTs to defend. Very nice done here by Gerald. Let's go to Dark Templar. Another Zealot warping into the main. Ooh, rough response though. Gerald otherwise distracted. Does spit out his army. Probes are falling. Gerald, he's committed. Does go for another expansion. The immortals are looking exposed. And Skillous will finally get one of them. He gets one, he gets 2. I can one-shot. Yeah, 3 immortals go down, and Gerald not able to protect. He gets punished. Likewise, Zealots are wreaking havoc in the bases. Yeah, they're getting out of hand. 26 probes going down. Gerald, he's losing momentum here. Remember, down to 1 immortal. I know. Down to 0. 0 immortals. The R target is down. Skillous trading well. Does lose the base, but it may not matter. He saves the mineral line. He takes down the Archons. There's 1 Archon left. Down to 0. 0 Archons remaining. Zealots are finally being cleaned up across the map. Gerald, he can finally push out. Still very close. Gerald, he still has, I believe, 2. Yeah, 2 immortals remaining. 2 immortals coming in. A couple of Archons. Can finally reinforce, and Skill's only working with purely Stalker. Oh, takes down the observers. Dark Templar can waddle in. Speaking of, yeah, they head across the map. And Skillous, he's having a harder time keeping up here. Observers on the way. Oh no, not again! The immortals! He gets 1, he gets 2, but this time he gets punished. Yeah, this time the punish is real. Archons are in position. Stalkers get free volleys off. And Skillous, he'll lose his army. GG gets called, and Gerald, he will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Gerald, he will take a lead in the series. Again, a very chaotic game state towards the end. Alas, Gerald did have the superior army for a very long time. He had a more complex army, I will say, with Archons, with Immortals, so he was able to outtrade his opponents, and he did force Skillous to take some otherwise rougher fights towards the end, just because he had to commit, he had to make up for his otherwise weaker army, and Gerald, he was able to pull it off in the end. SKillous did a great job counterattacking and going for these run-bys and trying to punish and successfully punishing Gerald, but Gerald's main force was still robust enough to keep going. Just barely enough with those two immortals. GG. GG, well played. Gerald does take a lead in the series, and now we're jumping into game number 2. This should be a bit of a more aggressive map. It is large, don't get me wrong, but the bases are a little bit less defendable here, so we'll see how our players will approach things on Frostline. As spawning in the top right hand corner, we have our Polish Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Gerald. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player representing Team Liquid. It is SKillous. Again, SKillous sticking with a cheaper army, mainly with Zealots and Stalker. He never made a single Archon, he never made a single Immortal. Just purely a gateway army out of SKillous. And the goal with that kind of force, the ideal is to be able to pull apart your opponents, right? With non-stop run-bys, counterattacks, catching your opponent out of position or out-positioning your opponent is what you rely upon. And SKillous, he was somewhat successful. I mean, we did see tri-pronged attack time and time again. War Prism into the main, Zealot run-bys, main army pushing in. He was able to gain some value and get some damage, but just was not worth it. It was not enough. For the most part, Geralt was successfully defending. But I will say that is easier on Gresvan more so than on Frostline. So load into a more open map. There are a lot of bases. It is a long rush distance by ground, don't get me wrong, or longer rush distance by ground. But the bases themselves are less defendable. The third, the fourth base. So wide open, so vulnerable to attacks. Sure, that is going to be a factor coming into this. It's going to be a factor. Likewise, this is our only broadcast scheduled for today. We do have this afternoon off, and we'll see how we feel after this cast. Usually on Wednesdays, usually on Wednesdays, after the morning cast, I would have like a ladder session. I would stream, have a ladder session, and we'd be able to have some fun. But it does depend. There's like a backlog of work to do, and I guess it depends also on how we feel and how awake we are. Yo, shouts once again to Wiki. Oh my god, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Wiki, in the chat for the 5 gifted subs to the community. Thank you so much. God, thank you so much. Also, thank you so much for becoming a new patron as well. I did mention last night, that we did get a new patron on our channel, so thank you so much. We do appreciate it. A lot of support in recent times and recent days. Thank you. Always do appreciate it. Always. Do appreciate it. As so far, we've just had a bit of a lull here in our game. We had standard openers, just 2-gate opener into our expansions. We do have our take of choice here, going to be a robo opener out of SKillous, a very safe way to open up. With a robo, the goal or what you have access to is early observer, that is true, early immortal production if you're being all in, or an early prism to move out and be a little bit more active on the map. I would imagine we're going to be going for earlier war prism, but we'll keep an eye on SKillous. Meanwhile, Gerald, he's going for a faster Twilight Council into faster Blink into a greater mid game, as he will gain map control, have a more mobile army with those Blink Stalkers. So my eyes on SKillous to see how he does make use of this robo. If he starts early immortal production, ooh, this could be a 2-base all-in. That's a very fast immortal here for SKillous. And we could try to build up towards like 1 or 2 immortals, move out across the map, and try to break Gerald before Blink comes into play. Blink has just begun. And this immortal is rallied across the map. Like, SKillous, he has no chill. At the same time, Gerald's setting up a proxy. That's going to be a 3rd gate. Double checking. We have 2 gates back at home. You have proxy, 3rd gate across the map. So Gerald, he will have the greater production. He can warp in 3 units at a time. But SKillous, he's pushing. He is already pushing out. Hallucination does confirm the immortal. He knows. Gerald, he knows what's going on. He needs a defensive back at home. We need shield batteries. We need warp ins. Gerald, he does move out towards this choke point. Or the closest thing to it here on Frostline. And the goal is a force field. The goal is a force field to buy time. Ooh, he gets caught out though. Trades 1-to-1. One Stalker goes down. Better trade for SKillous. Assuming he gets it. Oh, never mind. Gerald does pull away. He has to fall back. There's an extra warp in. Gateways are still finishing up. Leading out that Stalker. Another force field. Does lock down a sentry. SKillous rallying a second Immortal across the map. And Blink is about to finish in a couple of seconds. Prism has arrived. Ooh. Did have to cancel though. Warping into depths instead. Does poke forward. The problem is that Gerald is going 4-gate Blink. He's got a lot of gateways. And he has a lot of Stalkers as a result. Again, Gerald threw down an extra gateway here, further back in the main. And the problem for SKillous is that Gerald, he's about to overwhelm with Stalkers. He can defend and then he can counterattack. Prism into the mineral line. Gerald, he's pushing. The goal would be to catch out these Immortals. Speaking of, SKillous, miss rally. Yeah, rough miss rally here. Free Immortal goes down. Gerald doesn't lose anything. And SKillous, he has to force a recall or force Gerald back home. Here comes that Prism. Gerald pushing out. Catching out those sentries. Guy's gonna get everything here. He gets one. Almost two. And let's take it into the mineral line. No shield barriers. No shield barriers to defend, and SKillous is being punished so hard here. He will lose everything. There's nothing to hold on to. The boys are being pulled. The final Stalker goes down. And SKillous is going to lose everything. At the same time, he's across the map. He's getting some counter damage, but alas, we have defensive warp ins. Immortal does waddle in. But again, it can be targeted down. Can be, and will be. And Gerald's popping off so far in this series. Taking the first game, here he shuts down the Warp Prism. SKillous trying to be overly aggressive this game, but he was punished so hard. Again, SKillous just didn't know that Gerald was going into a 4-gate Blink Stalker. Just punishing the aggression so much. SKillous now down 10 workers. Oh. Does take down another 10 or 18. Waiting for the Robo. Yeah, Robo also under fire. Oh. Oh. It's once again catching another Immortal. I mean, the reinforcements are delayed. There's no Prism, unfortunately. There's no War Prism. So it takes a little bit longer here for Gerald to reinforce, but he will take down the Immortal nonetheless. The charge will allow SKillous to survive. Hang in there. We'll hold on. We'll hold on. Gerald just checking for a third base. He's got his own on the way. Weapons are finally getting across the map. And SKillous, he will survive. He will barely survive. He will hang on. But all of this is just because there's no War Prism. Speaking of, Gerald now taking up towards charge, Robo, Gateway Explosion. Still poking in. And containing. And this is all that Gerald has to do. Just contain SKillous. Just keep him trapped here on 2 bases. Gerald, he does fall back. And more warpins on the way. SKillous now building up his second Immortal. Let's go. Just getting there. Likewise, Gerald, he has to be careful to overextend. He is poking in, but at this point with 2 Immortals, he is being punished. And does have to retreat. Does retreat, does pull away. Oh. So as I pass the army, going for another Immortal. It's a brutal trade here as most of the Stalkers do go down. But it's still worth it. It's still fine. Still does overwhelm SKillous. Takes down most of the army. Resets the Stalker count, the Zealots. Now going for the final immortal, the final unit here of SKillous. Oh my god, the hot pickup, the control. SKillous, he's holding on. And again, reinforcements take so long to arrive, but Gerald, he's made it. I love how he makes an immortal before the prism as well. Just does rally across the map. He has his own immortal now. Ooh, going for the prism. More weapons on the way. And with good enough unit control with this prism, then maybe SKillous can hold on a little bit longer. Does take down the immortal, massive pickup. Efficient trades here by SKillous, at least with what little he has, but I mean, it's still just a numbers game at this point. It should be too much. The immortal, sorry, the Robo goes down, no more immortal production. Bleach on board, takes down the prism. GG gets called, and Gerald will take a 2-0 lead. GG. Whew. Hard countering, punishing the build of SKillous. As a reminder, SKillous, who went Robo first into Immortal Aggression, just rushed across the map. We saw Gerald, he went for a proxy third gate and a fourth gateway back at home. So we went 4-gate blink, 4-gate blink stalker. What that meant was that after Gerald was able to defend and he did hallucination scout, he saw what was coming, he was able to slow it down and warp it in time. But after the defense of Gerald, he had a massive counterattack ready. He had a massive counterattack, it was brutal, and SKillous just could not recover. He was not ready for it. He invested so heavily into that first immortal push, and it failed. Did fail, did fall in its face. GG. GG, well played. Gerald takes a 2-0 lead and is one game away from eliminating SKillous from the tournament. Let's go. Let us go. Welcome. Keep up the good work. Ah, the glasses, Pepper glasses. Yes, yes. I mean, again, we've been casting on an almost daily basis for the past like 5 years at this point. We started going full time at the end of 2019, so we've been at it the entire time, and we will continue to be at it as well for as long as we can. But thank you so much, Wiki, especially considering that it's only in the past 6 months, I want to say, that we've been getting a lot more traction. It took a while, took some time, but we have been getting a lot more traction as of the most recent months. So thank you so much. Thank you so much to yourself, to all of our new patrons, to all of our new subscribers. Do appreciate it. Do appreciate it. Gracias. Gracias. As we're now getting into game number 3. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Amygdala, we have our Polish Protoss player leading the series 2-0. It's the best of 5. He needs one more. I'm a little bit in shock here, but I expected this to be a close one, not to be so one-sided so early on. And we'll see if he can close it out. As representing Streamer Zone from Lena, Poland, it is Gerald. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss representing Team Liquid, down heavily in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. It is SKillous. We go. Oh, quack, Flappy, quack. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás, Getcha? Good to see you. Good to see you. So far, once again, we have a double gate opener out of SKillous, likewise double gate opener out of Gerald as well. This would be everything else. So far, standard openers. This series, we have yet to see any proxies. There's been no pylons, no proxy, no aggression too early on, outside of last game with the Robo opener, of course. We'll see how our players do adjust. Again, we were reminiscing a lot about the early years, just because we recently had to delete all of our older VODs, at least on Twitch, due to the new limitations. And yeah, it was just very, very nostalgic. Very nostalgic, having to go through, and bittersweet, of course, having to delete all the older VODs. But seeing us casting like IEM back in 2020, like the Go by Medicast from Got by Medica cast back in 2019. I had forgotten, but I was pleasantly surprised to see that we were even like the B stream for some of Wardy's events back in 2020 as well. This was like even before we were too big and too large. So yeah, it was really cool to see that. It's been quite some time. A lot of events, a lot of tournaments, a lot of casts. Yeah, let's go. Here's the 7,000 more hours of casting StarCraft. True. Let's go. We'll do it all again. As this time, still no proxy. No proxy, by the way. We're going to be expanding, taking our natural bases. SKillous going for his tech of choice, going for a Twilight Council. So far, both players are mirroring each other. Gerald is being a little bit more active, a little bit more aggressive with these adepts, but for the most part, SKillous, he is keeping up and will force them back. So after a aggressive and dynamic start from SKillous in the last game, we're calming things down, we're playing more standard, and welcome one and all to Amygdala. Amygdala is one of the larger maps in the map pool, one of the more Mac-origin maps as well. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a similar game, say, to Game 1 on Gressvan, with our players settling into a 2, 3, and 4 base economy is what we're leading towards. Gerald is trying to get a read on what's going on. So far, both players scanning each other with their hallucinations. Again, that's the power of the early Sentry openers, is just non-stop hallucination scouts to make sure that there's no shenanigans, no gateway explosion, no hidden tech. Everything looking normal. SKillous is getting a proxy pylon, and this should just be for a gateway to reinforce across the map to harass. Doubt we're going to be hiding any tech, and Gerald, he will find it, and he will shut it down. Nice scout there by Gerald. Takes a third base behind this. SKillous is going to be a little bit later, but should be taking his own third as well. Oh, okay. We have a third gate on the way, going for a Forge, 3-gate Blink into third base. Likewise, Gerald with a very similar setup. And just like game number 1, early Immortal production. If you recall, in game 1, both players went into, their maxed out armies. They both got into 4-base economies. But SKillous did continue and did stick with a very gateway heavy and gateway centric composition of Stalker Zealot. He never made any Immortals, he never made any Archons in game 1. Whereas Gerald, he was the one that was mixing it up and was having a more diverse and complex army instead, with Archons, with Immortals, with Dark Templar. Did have more success as a result, and we could be headed in a similar direction. My eyes are going to be on SKillous to see if he does tech up. See how he does approach this. So far, charge on the way, should be the case with both players. Charge initially for SKillous. Gerald, he moves out with that first Immortal. He has the timing. This is similar here in concept to game 2. We have the early Immortal. Does move in as a backbone to the army. Stalkers have to blink back. Nice force fields. The Immortal is not a factor. Yeah, he's zoned away. SKillous buying time. Force fields are running out. Oh. He has to be careful. Does swing away. Does swing forward, actually. Oh my god. Does that forward, takes down the Stalkers, does punish SKillous, and the base is under fire. The Immortal did get low, and Gerald doesn't risk it. He doesn't risk it. Oh. Going for the fight. Immortal pulls away. Nice control. Immortal pulls back. I love that the Immortal started racing back ahead of time. Oh no, it's gonna go down. Does fall. And SKillous holds. SKillous, he holds on. Look at the units lost tab here. SKillous, he lost 4 Stalkers and 3 Sentries for an Immortal, 2 Sentries and 2 Adepts. In that, it was a better trade for Gerald. Was a better trade, cost-wise. Back at home, building up more Immortals. SKillous is taking, though, for the first time this series, Templar Archives. Templar Archives here for Archons. So is getting to charge our Archon, is skipping Immortals, but still at least embracing Archon production. He does spot the army. Does spot the main army. Goes for counterattack. Will shuts down the Immortal. Very nice pickup. Ooh, and Gerald, he's racing back home. He's out of position. SKillous racing back. Does turn back around. Gerald, he does hold on. Did cost him an immortal. SKillous going for his own. It's almost like he was testing the waters here against Gerald in this series. Now it's playing some StarCraft. Let's go. Settling into Amygdala. Gerald is the first to expand, getting a 4th base. SKillous shouldn't be too far behind him. Just building up that Archon count. Gerald's going for the Dark Shrine. Dark Shrine's on the way. Gerald moving in. And now Gerald, without Archons, it can be difficult to break this position. Likewise, barely does miss the Immortals. That would have been huge. So I'll say peel off into the mineral line. Diving the Archons. Archons, they tank 3 volleys. 1 Archon goes down. But Gerald, he has to back off. There are just too many Zealots. I did mention this, without Archons, he's vulnerable, and the Immortal is going to go down. Yeah, better fight for SKillous. Shuts down the Prism. Prism goes down as well. And Gerald, he's in trouble. Gerald, he's in a lot of trouble here. Forced to trade. Has to pull away, racing back home. SKillous, he doesn't commit. Gerald, he does have the better economy, but he needs time for warp-ins. And he's now stuck on purely Zealous Stalker. And again, without Archons, without that splash damage, it's difficult to deal with all these Zealots. Speaking of, Zealots, they crash in. More Zealots on the way. We have some Dark Templar, but there's detection. Yeah, plenty of detection. SKillous, he's breaking through. He overwhelms. He has just a more cost-efficient army. Gets some of the Stalkers, and the Zealots, they overwhelm. Alas, the Archons, they try to morph in, but they focus out immediately. And Gerald just can't keep up. He cannot keep up, not anymore. Being forced back into the mineral line. Probe's going to be falling to the splash damage of the Archons. Yeah, SKillous, he's pinned. Sorry, Gerald, he's pinned back. SKillous, he can just keep going. Keep reinforcing. He has the Warp Prism. He's good to code. It takes down the mineral line. 20 probes fall. And Gerald, he has nothing left. Did have momentum in this series, but now that is stripped away as SKillous, he fights back. GG gets called. SKillous puts a point on the board. GG. Does fight back. And with that, we do not get a 3-0. Thankfully, there's no 3-0s. Not here. Not in this series. As against SKillous, he was able to catch out Geralt early on. More importantly, SKillous, he was able to reset the immortal count time and time again. He was able to snipe, I want to say, 3 immortals in the lead up to that final push. He was able to get the immortal that was being more defensive. Sorry, he was able to catch an immortal in the center of the map. Likewise, get an immortal defensively back at home. And catch an immortal on the left-hand side with those Zealots as well. So with that, he just crippled the army of Gerald. And overwhelmed. And now we're getting to game number 4. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the Polish Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Streamer Zone. Still 1 game away from claiming this series and advancing on into the next round. Can he do it? Can he pull it off? It is Gerald. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Red Protoss player, the Red Protoss representing Team Liquid, down in the series, but he has begun the comeback, and he forced the ace match. It is SKillous. It's always difficult recovering from such a deficit, a 2-0 deficit as well, in a best of 5. Not impossible. Not impossible. SKillous, I'm sure he's reinvigorated, he's ready to go. Bring us to the ace back, all the way. And again, so far we haven't had any proxies, no cheese, no even fake pylons either. We're loading into Whispers of Gold. It is a rush map, very small map. Short rushes and spike ground. Known for aggression. We'll see if anyone takes the bait. see if anyone does embrace that. So far, both players are catching each other's pylons. 2 pylons in the main for SKillous. Likewise, 2 pylons in the main base for Gerald. So far, so good. No proxy. Gerald, he locks down the probe. Does wall it in. We have a double stalker out of Gerald. Likewise, double stalker out of SKillous. Oh, double stalker. Going for a more aggressive start. SKillous is forced to recall. Does save the probe. Likewise across the map. Denies the pylon. Can soon expand. Both players can. Ooh, but Gerald, he will go for a faster Stargate before expanding. Interesting. Stargate is on the way. This should be an Oracle-based opener. Now the pressure is going to be on Gerald to get some damage done. To deal some economic damage, as he is delaying his expansion in favor of the Stargate. It's building up. SKillous supplying pressure. Does move out. Gerald, he's across the map with his adepts, so he's gonna have that much less to defend. Going for a Void Ray. Okay, I mean, he's forced to. Void Ray's on the way. The base taking a lot of hits, a lot of damage. Gonna be reinforcing. And already early on, Gerald, he's in a bit of trouble here. Does shade across with the he does not get in. He does get into the main base. Likewise, base taking a lot of damage. Void Ray is on the way. There's that sentry with a force field. He can force you with the ramp. Oh. He can. Doesn't quite get it though. Does pull away. He's got a shield. Oh, sentry does fall. And Gerald holds. Gerald, he does hold on. But he had to open up with that Void Ray instead. No Oracle, no harass. He's moving out. And absolutely get cleaned up. They don't get anything across the map. And Gerald, he's in a rough position here. Again, this Void Ray, it was a bit of a waste. I'm going to say a waste. Without it, he would have died, true. he would have lost the expansion. So Gerald does hold at least. But the problem is that now SKillous knows there's a Stargate. Now he knows there's a Stargate. Now he knows to prepare. There's a shield battery in the main. Likewise, Stalker's here on the right-hand side at the natural. It's going to be difficult for either the Void Ray or the Oracle to get any damage done. So the pressure is on Gerald. Especially because Blink is almost complete here for SKillous. He has a massive lead when it comes to that upgrade. Blink just now beginning here for Gerald. Just now begins. Oh. Does dip in. Going for the stasis. Stasis is going to connect. Oh, no pad. Gets 4. Does get 4 workers. At the same time, it adapts towards that natural. Second stasis. Gets 1 more. And we do come into the shade. I mean, again, there's a lot of pressure on Gerald to get some damage, and so far he is doing it. Does my mining time. But it's being cleaned up. Yeah, Blink is now done. SKillous, he goes for a counterattack. The Void Ray is not going to be at home. Stasis! Ooh, mass stasis! Does connect! Very nice. Cashes out half the mineral line. But back at home, what is it to defend? Gerald takes the third base. He has less stalkers, but he does have the stasis. True. Oh! And does catch a free stalker. Almost. SKillous pulls away. It's 14 Stalkers to 9, but alas, a lot of the Stalkers are back at home. Gerald, he does hold on. Going for his Dark Shrine. Going for DTs. Thankfully, there is an observer for SKillous. He won't get caught out. There is still potential. Gerald is sharking around. Both players are taking the same direction. Gerald has taken a worker lead thanks to all the Oracle harass. He was successful. I didn't think he would be, just because he had to reveal his hand, but did well for himself. Killing workers with adepts, stasis into the main, has allowed Gerald to recover. And the upgrades are neck and neck, at least for charge. There's a small window where skills will have +1 over Gerald, but it's a very small window. For the most part, things are still pretty even. Gerald pokes in, gets a Stalker, pulls away. Does pull back, does rotate. And once again, SKillous he's taking up towards Archons. Temple Archives, Immortal Production. Gerald instead going for something more gateway heavy. Just distracting SKillous. DT's on left. There is a cannon on the way. Thanks to that cannon skills, he should be able to maintain himself. That's Gerald getting ready for a surround. Okay. Warping in behind the army. Oh, doesn't quite catch him though. Doesn't quite catch him out. Archon's now morphing in for skills, but they're a little bit late. They're not ready. They're barely not ready. Stalkers, they dive in. Gerald, he doesn't quite have enough to break through though. Yeah, not enough. The Archons do finish, and SKillous holds. SKillous, he does hold on. And this is similar to the last game where SKillous is just going to be outscaling Gerald. We saw this on Amygdala, where Gerald, he's stuck on a more lower tier army, a cheap army. He's being forced back. Void Ray dives in. I just worry that when SKillous pushes, he can't be stopped. He's moving out. Go behind this. Okay, stasis traps. The traps are set. Morphs in a couple of his own Archons. We have the Robo now on the way for Gerald. Just now for the first time. Stasis gets baited. SKillous, he notices. Ready to move in. We can use stab here. We do see Gerald, he has more Zealots, more Stalkers. SKillous, he's got the Archons and the Immortals. Does break through. Baits out another stasis. There's one left. One stasis remaining. SKillous being so careful with how he engages. Just being so careful here. And oh, decent stasis though. Stasis does go off, shuts down the Zealots. Despite that, the Archons, they break through. They shut down the Zealots of Gerald. Gerald, he gets one. Takes down 1, 2, up to 3 Archons. Not bad. But SKillous is still gaining ground, still has a greater concave. Resets the Archon count. And now it's all about the Stalkers. Now it's all about the Stalker stasis. The stasis runs out. So I was like, down on top of the Stalkers here. And Gerald, he's being broken, he's being forced all the way back. I say that does reinforce us in time. There's no Archons left. Gerald, he's holding on. He's holding. It's still so difficult to break that Immortal line, though. There's still 2 Immortals left. Archons are on the way. That's the one thing that SKillous is missing. Yeah, he knows. Does morph in. So close to breaking Gerald. And the Archons, they come back online. Zealots fall back. They force out splash damage. Zealots go down for Gerald. SKillous trading more efficiently. At the same time as ETs, they get across the map. The base goes down. Yeah, SKillous, you just keep going. You just keep pushing. These Immortals, they've been there the entire fight. Still breaking through. Past the base. Now they can just go for the third. Oh, Gerald, he has his own Immortal. DT's warping in as well. But despite that, SKillous, he has done it. Yes, surrounds the Archons. Blinks on forward. The Immortals are exposed, but the Archons, yep, they do protect. Nice repositioning from SKillous. Will protect his forces. Will lose 1 Archon, but takes down the other 2. And SKillous has done it. SKillous, he has done it. I mean, he broke the 4th base earlier. Now he's getting on top of the 3rd. GG gets called, and SKillous, very meticulous move out there. Very meticulous control when it comes to his army. He was able to break the defenses, and with that, we are going to the ace match. GG. GG, well played. Very similar kind of setup there to Amygdala is what I will say, where once again, Gerald, he was stuck on Worst Army, he was stuck on Mass Stalker Zealot. We saw that he was trying to be aggressive with it, he was trying to gain some kind of value by being active on the map, but the defenses were a little bit too strong there for SKillous. SKillous, he wasn't skipping out on that tech, he was able to warp in Archons just in time, and then bam, he was able to be triggered into that counterattack, and alas, Gerald, he had nothing to defend, or not enough to hold on. Not against SKillous. GG. GG, well played. That leads us into the ace match, into game 5. And we'll see how this story ends, as we are loading into ley lines. And again, it was an impressive start out of Gerald. He was up 2-0 in the series, but now he's forced all the way to game 5, and we'll see how this story ends, as spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have our Polish Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, being forced into the ace match from a 2-0 lead. Can he bring it back? It is Gerald. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player representing Team Liquid, coming back from the brink of defeat, and he has brought it all the way to the ace match. Can he keep going? It is SKillous. Go. Again, for the past 2 games, just focusing on just a higher quality army, just teching up, just absorbing the early blows of Gerald before counterattacking. So far, has done quite well for himself. Gerald, he clearly does need to mix things up here. He has to change his current approach. Being overly aggressive with gateway units and trying to break skills early on, it's not working. It's not working. Not here. But now we have a 2-gate opener from both sides, once again. 2 gateways for SKillous, likewise 2 gateways for Gerald. We have no proxies being set up either, so no shenanigans. Not early on. There's that second pylon for both players. Both Gerald and SKillous. So I'm just stretching. We're good. We are good. So from here, we're just going to be expanding. Again, there's no proxy. We're looking for any earlier tech, like an earlier Stargate, or a Twilight Council, or a Robo. Likewise, we have our first units of choice, Stalker Sentry out of Gerald, Stalker Sentry out of SKillous. So very macro-based openers. We mentioned this before, but the reason why Sentry openers are so common, especially for a more macro setup, is because of the hallucinations and because of the NG overcharge. With that, you have so many hallucinations in the early game. And it's all about scouting, making sure that your opponent has nothing crazy going on. Making sure you're able to respond to anything your opponent whips out. Because of this in PvP, it's very difficult to actually hide tech. Not impossible, but very difficult. And why often we see, if we do hide a Dark Shrine, for example, it's a proxy across the map to try to make sure that the hallucination does not see it. As we have non-stop hallucination scouts. Oh, they just keep going. We just keep going. Dipping further into the main. Further in. Once again, both players working into a Twilight Council. Blink is on the way. Very neck and neck here for Gerald and SKillous. And we're looking for any kind of big sign of deviation. We have Gerald going for his third gateway. So already a little bit more aggressive here from our blue Protoss. Oh, setting up a proxy gateway. Oh, sorry, a proxy pylon. And this could be 4-gate blink. You know, a third gateway back at home. And that's, yep, there's the 4th gateway. So 4-gate blink out of Gerald. Hyper aggression. So Gerald, our blue Protoss, is going to be the aggressor. SKillous is expanding. Oh boy. So SKillous is going to be stuck on a 2-gate setup, so he can warp in 2 Stalkers at a time, as opposed to the 4 Stalkers at a time of Gerald. SKillous is being active here to keep Gerald busy, to keep him pinned back, but the reality is that is a 5th gateway. This is a 2-base all-in. Getting up to 5 gates, we could even throw down a 6th gateway as well. This is insanely aggressive. Gerald, he's going to be pushing. And SKillous is going to be in a bit of trouble here. He has to race back home. SKillous, he does scout the proxy. Is aware. Yeah, big moment here for SKillous. And Gerald has to fight for it. He has to fight for that proxy. I'm not sure if he can. Gerald needs more time. Pylon's going to be depowered. Nice force field, zoning him away. Pylon goes down. And with that, there's no reinforcements. Yeah, Gerald is being shot down. Back at home, he does expand. But the plan's here to go for an aggressive blink, build even. I was going to say all in, but not quite. Not quite here. Not anymore. Backup pylon on the way. Oh, going for a Dark Shrine. Went behind. Dark Shrine. Let's go. Another hallucination. Hallucination comes in and SKillous, he should see everything. He should, and he will. Yeah, he gets eyes on the Dark Shrine. He knows what's going on. It won't catch him off guard. Gerald, he does repower that gateway. There he is, warping in 4 Stalkers at a time. But last, I mean, his army is smaller. It's too late. Now there's an Immortal. SKillous, he can take this fight. Shuts down the sentries, going for the Stalkers. Force fields, they complicate things. Has to pull away. Has to pull back, but SKillous, he's all over this. He has a better economy. He has a larger army. Notices once again the Warpin's on the way. Oh my god, the force field is brutal. The Zealots, they do nothing. Forced to recall. 3 Zealots escape. SKillous, he peels away. Getting ready for the rotation. And so far, SKillous, he's just all over this. It's all over this. Higher probe count, faster 3rd base. Building of Immortals, Stalkers, now into Zealot +1. And Gerald, he's going to double down. I mean, his Dark Shrine got scouted, but now he's going into Shadow Stride, into Blink. Blink for the Dark Templar. I mean, it makes sense, just because Gerald needs something to recover in this game, and DTs are always a way to do it. Even if there are cannons, and there are cannons on the way, DTs, they can blink forward. They can blink forward, they can dive on top of the cannons, they can focus them down. Well, fourth base is denied. SKillous also quite in position. Gerald, he is holding on. Leaving out a couple of stalkers. SKillous, he does decide to push forward here. Now, based on all these zealots, without an Archon, it's going to be difficult for SKillous, but he has his own zealots on the way. Prism has arrived to reinforce. Gerald is up against the wall. Going for a DT counterattack against cannons. And there aren't that many Dark Templar. One for each base. Cannons, they defend. No cannon in the main. Okay. Going for the production. Same time, Gerald pushing forward. Does try to get on top of that Immortal. And he can target it down. So far, decent trades here from Gerald. Takes down the Immortal. But last, he will lose the mineral line. I mean, probes are going down. Reinforcements still on the way. And it's just a numbers game at this point. SKillous just has far too much. It was just a really rough start for Gerald. As a reminder, Gerald, what did he do? He went 5k blink at the start of the game on 2 bases. It was crazy. And he got scattered. His proxy got denied. And he just never got to be aggressive the way that he wanted. And he did fall behind from that moment. And that led into this. That led into this game state. SKillous with a massive lead, with a massive army supply lead. Takes down the first mineral line, going for a second. Gerald, he just cannot keep up. Not anymore. He's trying to. Warps in more zealots. Against how many? Against 24 stalkers. DTs, they applied some pressure, but nowhere near enough. Coming in for a flank, DT goes down. There is detection. There's the observer. And SKillous just cannot be dealt with. And again, Gerald, he had a great series here. He had a 2-0 lead. Things looking good. But SKillous, he tightened things up. Did respect Gerald coming into Game 3 and Game 4, and even here into Game 5 as well. GG gets called. SKillous, he will bounce back. The reverse sweep is real. And SKillous will take the series 3-2. GG. GG, well played. Very impressive play here by SKillous to bring it all the way back again. He was up against the wall. He was at the brink of defeat, but alas, he said no. He was able to recover, able to bounce back in this series, win 3 games in a row. With that, SKillous will advance on into the next round. GG. GG, well played. He will advance on, and my condolences to Gerald as he is knocked out of the tournament, but he played so well in this series, did so well making it as far as he did in this tournament as well. So I do hope the best, or do wish the best here to Gerald when it comes to future events. I mean, again, he's a regular when it comes to online tournaments, and he is definitely one to keep an eye on coming into 2025. So GG, well played. He is out, and we have our next lower bracket match ready for us. Up next, we have not a PvP, but a PvZ between Hero and Solar. Let's go.